Minister Netanyahu, I want to thank you very much for your time. It was good speaking with you, sir.
Thank you very much. naomerz. This is a danger I've been pointing to. It's not a spin. It's not a whim. You don't want this Iran to have neither nuclear weapons or the capability to make nuclear weapons, to enrich uranium for a nuclear bomb in short order, in a few weeks or a few months. They could do that unless that's changed. Iran is building intercontinental ballistic missiles, not to reach us, they already have those missiles, but to reach every part of the United States.
They send flotillas to Gaza. Israel is the only force that is actually allowing reconstruction, encouraging reconstruction of Gaza. They send flotillas to Gaza. They don't send flotillas to Syria. Iris.
With a minimum amount of force or with targeting military targets.
By not dismantling Iran's nuclear program, in a decade this deal will give an unreformed, unrepentant, and far richer terrorist regime the capacity to produce many nuclear bombs. In fact, an entire nuclear arsenal with the means to deliver it. What a stunning, historic mistake. Israel is not bound by this deal with Iran, and Israel is not bound by this deal with Iran because Iran continues to seek our destruction. We will always defend ourselves. It's something that all parts of the Israeli government and all parts of Israeli society agree on. It's important that we make common cause with our Palestinian neighbors. These two parents are in other parts of the Israeli health system. We're trying to give them the best treatment to save their lives. When you stand next to the bed of this small child and his infant brother had been so brutally murdered, we're shocked, we're outraged. When I saw the images of babies suffocating from a chemical attack in Syria, I was shocked and outraged. There's no excuse whatsoever for the deliberate attack on civilians and on children, especially with cruel and outlawed chemical weapons. I call on the international community to fulfill its obligation from 2013 to fully and finally remove these horrible weapons from Syria. When I saw the images of babies suffocating from a chemical attack in Syria, I was shocked and outraged. There's no excuse whatsoever for the deliberate attack on civilians and on children, especially with cruel and outlawed chemical weapons. I call on the international community to fulfill its obligation from 2013 to fully and finally remove these horrible weapons from Syria.
who gets to ease their sanctions with Iran. Two decades ago, it was possible to thwart Saddam's nuclear ambitions by bombing a single installation.
It has passed more resolutions against Israel than against Syria, North Korea, and Iran combined. In fact, it's passed more resolutions against Israel than against all the countries of the world combined.
And once Saddam has nuclear weapons, the terror network will have nuclear weapons.
One is if they keep the deal, and the other is if they cheat on the deal. They can cheat on the deal because the inspections are not instantaneous.
That's the calm alert. In other words, when we began this interview, we were under bomb alert. And as the minutes passed, now we are being told that people can go out into the open air again. This is the kind of reality we're living in, Bob. And we'll do, as I said, whatever is necessary to put an end to this. In the international community, who gets to ease their sanctions with Iran faster? Not a good idea. Not a good deal. A very bad deal. You don't want this Iran to have neither nuclear weapons or the capability to make nuclear weapons, to enrich uranium for a nuclear bomb in short order, in a few weeks or a few months. They could do that unless that's changed. Not reflecting the reality to assume that Saddam isn't feverishly working to develop nuclear weapons.
Israel will continue to uphold its commitment to the laws of armed conflict, despite the brutal tactics of its enemies, and it will continue to investigate any allegations of wrongdoing in accordance with the highest international standards. So Israel is not bound by this agreement. For years, the international community has demanded that Iran cease all uranium enrichment. Cease, now read it. Cease, now read it. Cease, now read it. This agreement has made the world a much more dangerous place. I know that many share the concern of Israel. מה שהושג אמש בז'נבה איננו הסכם היסטורי, זו טעות היסטורית. It's my obligation to speak out clearly. For years, the international community has demanded that Iran
cease all uranium enrichment. I urge Secretary Kerry not to rush to sign, to wait, to reconsider.
Yes, sir.